Great Britain lineup with the teenage sensation Radigan.
Cameron, welcome to QTV. I wonder if you could start just by reminding me of, the earliest part of your stories.
I grew up in Galston and I was a cancer survivor. At the age of 2, I was diagnosed with stage 3 cancer in my left calf, rhabdomyosarcoma, so it was quite an aggressive form of cancer. We had the best surgeons and consultants in Scotland. They managed to remove the tumorous growth, which also came along with the calf muscle from my left leg. So for my early years I grew up with a left leg without a calf muscle. It was when I got older and less mobile, when I ended up in a wheelchair, it became a lot harder.
What was the prognosis at that point?
I had 10% chance of survival. To me, I don't remember much. I do know that it was a lot of chemo and radiotherapy. The treatment was very, very aggressive, yeah. I did have a very supportive family behind me who made the best choices for my later life. Welcome to Galston. We're just walking past my old school now. But you actually know Galston, don't you?
I do, yeah. So my gran and my papa lived here when I was a wee boy, so I used to spend weekends down here. My mum went to Galston Primary up on the hill, and then she went to Kilmarnock Academy after that.
So would that be one of the reasons why you were keen to sponsor me?
So we met at the Team Scotland Awards in 2019, was it? Yeah. It was just serendipitous that, you happened to be doing a sport that had given a lot to QTV and in which QTV were heavily involved. And then it turned out you were from the same town as my grandparents. My family go back generations in this town in Galston and New Mills next door. And there was something quite, as I say, serendipitous about it. And it felt, fateful that we'd been put in that position together,
So what got you into archery?
So we've been working with World Archery now for probably about 6 years. We're now into our second cycle with World Archery, and it's been a really successful partnership. It's gone really well, and it's a sport that I've grown to love over the last 6 years as well. And working with you, hopefully now we've got the opportunity to, just extend that relationship. What age were you when you discovered archery, and what was it that led you to that particular sport?
I would have been 13. The sport it was a disciplined sport that, no matter what physical state you were in, there was always a way to compete. Could do it sitting, standing. There was always just an opportunity to do the sport.
What was the journey through club archery like for you, and how inclusive did it feel being in the position you were in?
So I started at Kilmarnock Archers, which was a small community club. It was for me to see what archery was like and to get a feel for it. I very quickly, caught the bug for it and really enjoyed it. So I began looking for clubs that would be able to help me expand my skill and my knowledge in the sport, which is where I found Irvine Talks, which allowed me to shoot a further distance and shoot a Olympic-style recurve bow.
It's around this time that you made a fairly big decision, a life-altering decision.
Yeah.
Say, so what decision did you come to, and how did you reach it?
I decided to go for an elective amputation. I done this because I didn't have the same quality of life as I did before. So at 15 I decided that I'd start speaking to NHS and seeing, what we could do in order to make my life better. And I had it set that I believed that if I had an amputation and a prosthetic leg, I'd be able to walk and have my life back. As soon as I had the surgery done, I knew that I didn't want to spend much time in hospital. I think 2 days after I had the surgery done, I'd left hospital. And then 11 days later I went to compete in the British Junior Championships for archery.
You made the national team in 2021, so you've achieved that first goal. Do you then just reset reset the bar and this is now the baseline and there's a whole new set of goals? How did your outlook change at that point?
As soon as I made the squad, my goal immediately changed to I want a Paralympic medal. That is the goal now, is I want a Paralympic medal.
Paris in 2024 a realistic ambition for you?
I believe Paris is a really realistic ambition. I've got a lot of support behind me at Para-GB, and with their support so far I've been able to accomplish so much. So,
how important is sponsorship to help you achieve what you want to achieve?
Sponsorship allows me to keep competing in my sport. It allows me to attend more competitions, to progress and to compete against a higher level of archer. It allows me to not have to worry about day-to-day life. It covers me, it keeps me in the sport.
Cameron, this is the Ayrshire Athletics Arena.
Yep.
So when did you start coming here to train?
Would be round about 2 years ago now.
So that was just when you were just preparing for GB squad about that time?
Yeah, just on the lead up to getting into GB, yeah. Both feet over the line.
Across the line like this?
Yep.
Yep. And then how far back am I?
As close to your face as you can.
Close to my face.
Trying to bring it to your cheekbone.
That's absolutely nowhere near the target, Cameron. Slightly too small for me as well. So, what are you giving me that? Is that touch? No, that's not touching, is it?
That's broke the line.
Is it broke the line?
Yeah, so because you can't see
Give me a 9 for that?
Because we can't see any red between the black line and the gold, that would be a 9.
So you give me a 9 for that?
That would be a 9.
17 from my first 3 arrows. Where's it? Oh my God, it's in the wall. So over what distance are you shooting now?
I'm shooting 70 metres.
Is it odd shooting from 20 metres again?
Yeah, I've had to guess where my sight should roughly be, so.
3 9s quite comfortably, but yeah, very consistent. Right, shall we try again?
Yeah, let's go.
I'm getting the hang of this now. Next competition for you is the European Grand Prix in Lils Hall. QTV are providing the coverage of the finals of that. What are your prospects? What are your hopes for that competition?
I'm looking forward to competing in my first international able bodies event, which is definitely going to be a new experience, but will only help me improve in the future. It's looking like it's going to be a very good event and I'm really looking forward to it.
Cameron, thanks very much for taking the time to tell me your story. I'm delighted that QTV can do something to help you towards Paris next year and wish you the best of luck.
Thank you. Thank you for your support as well.
Pleasure.